Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back here with another daily crypto update. Today the market is falling lower, and I believe this might be due to some manipulation. We've seen some pretty shady price action recently, and I made a video not long ago talking about that in more detail. But the fact of the matter is we're getting, price action that doesn't correlate to anything in particular, right? Which isn't normal. It doesn't have to do with the technicals or any type of news-related content. In fact, the news today was bullish, but the market dropped pretty badly out of nowhere, and that's typical manipulative price action. And it was followed by very suspicious flat price action. So I'm going to talk about that again in more detail. But over the past 24 hours, a lot of cryptos down about 5%, and we'll cover everything in more detail as per usual during our technical analysis section. Just before I jump into the news, don't forget to check out my technical analysis master course. I have a very limited discount going on right now where you can get 50% off, and there's only 5 discount codes available, so please take advantage of that. Link to the course in the description of this video. You can save $500 for free by using the code TRT500 at checkout. And with that being said, we're going to jump into the news. So first off, the big news here today is that the Robinhood investing app actually added Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. So it's basically kind of following in the footsteps of Coinbase, and I think that's a good thing. I think that it's good that they're adding more cryptocurrencies. It's really, what we need to see for even more adoption and more opportunity for money to come in the marketplace. What I think is interesting is now that Robinhood has really caught up with Coinbase here, it's going to be interesting to see how soon they're going to add other cryptocurrencies, specifically cryptocurrencies that Coinbase hasn't added yet. Cryptocurrencies like Ripple and some of the other big ones are more likely to be added just because of their size and how established they are. I think that they're probably going to, follow Coinbase's path of first off adding, the big brand name cryptocurrencies, and then possibly down the line adding the smaller altcoins. But it's a good thing nonetheless, and competition is key in this market, so it's pretty much good for everyone. Now, taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, as you can see, we failed to remain near the middle band, and we now slammed right back down to our almost $6,000 support level, which is our critical support level. If we move below that, we'll have a little bit more support near $5,800, but by all means, we would be at risk of moving back towards $5,000 or even $4,500. So we do really want to try to stay above $6,000. If we see that we're able to get a bounce here, then we'll probably continue our consolidation as expected, like I mentioned in my previous video, in between $6,000 and $6,500. We'll have to wait and see, but we do want to make sure that we get a bounce here. It's very important. The good thing is that we do have support here. The lower Bollinger Band is coming up, and hopefully that'll really help avoid the price to actually get that drop. But we do have to be careful, right? Because it is a critical support level, and a move below that will wreak some havoc. Now, as for the indicators, they're also taking a hit here, so we want to make sure that we see a bounce pretty soon at this point. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be Ethereum. Ethereum also dropped back below its symmetrical triangle formation, and that's unfortunate because I was looking forward to it remaining in the symmetrical triangle formation and then hopefully getting a breakout higher. Unfortunately, as you can see, we just really tested that uptrend line and then fell back down, so we weren't ready for that just yet. The one thing that is a little bit concerning right now with the Ethereum price action is that the Bollinger Bands are expanding, which could leave some room towards the downside. So once again, we're up on our critical support level here at $420. A move below that will push us down to $361. And yeah, that becomes a pretty big likelihood at that point if we move below $420. Keep in mind, nothing I say here is financial advice. It's just my personal opinion. But, indicators taking a hit as well, and we want to make sure we get a bounce soon. The RSI is still uptrending, same thing with the MACD, but we want to get a bounce here basically, within the next 24 hours, really, and avoid that dip lower. Let's go ahead, take a look at Litecoin next, see what's going on. So taking a look at the Coinbase chart, we can see that Litecoin is coming up as well on its support level here near $74, and then our critical support is down to $70. A move below that would probably push us down to, $50, even maybe lower than that. So we could definitely move quite a bit lower if we drop below $70, and that's why we want to remain above that critical support level, as is the case for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's go ahead, take a look at Nano. Nano is still consolidating, which is not a bad thing considering that some of the cryptos are looking a bit weak here. And as you can see, we're actually putting in higher lows every time we dropped below 35,000 Satoshis, which is a good sign. The one bad thing about that is, the more times we test this support level, the more likely we are to actually get that drop lower. If we drop below 35,000 Satoshis, we'll probably move down to around 30,000 Satoshis, and any drop below that is going to start pushing us towards 20,000 Satoshis. So we do really want to try to remain above 35,000 Satoshis and just continue our consolidation between that and 40,000 Satoshis. Let's go ahead, take a look at our next crypto, which is going to be Ripple, and we're going to see what's going on. So we're going to take a look at the Bittrex chart here. Ripple also falling back down on its support level at 40 cents. For now, we're still in our range between 40 cents and 50 cents, but we want to remain above that critical support level of 40 cents. And we're coming up on some support as well on the indicators, so definitely could get an opportunity to bounce there. But we want that to be confirmed, right? We'll see within the next day or two. But overall, for a lot of cryptos out there, we're going to need to get a good answer, which is a bounce, within the next 24 hours, maybe 48 hours at the most. Because if we don't, we're probably going to end up getting a pretty big move towards the downside. Let's go ahead, take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be NEO, and see what's going on. So once again, we're going to take a look at the Bittrex charts here, and pretty steady downtrend for NEO right now. It touched that resistance level at $43 and has been going down since. So pretty steady downtrend. Our support will probably be seen at around $28, and then we may even be in for a move down to our last critical support level of $26. Definitely don't want to start moving below that. We do have a lot of support in that area though. We also have our lower Bollinger Band there, so it becomes harder to actually break below that and more likely for us to get a bounce, but we have to wait and see, right? Right now we're almost in a bit of a symmetrical triangle formation where the end of that is actually near our support level. So pretty likely that we do end up going there at around $27, and indicators also falling back lower right now. Let's go ahead, take a look at our next crypto, which is going to be EOS. EOS has been falling lower pretty continuously, and it got a test of that downtrend line that did not hold. We ended up breaking much lower from there, lost our support level, and over here we don't have much support actually in this area, so I'd say it's very likely that we come and bounce off this uptrend line, and our target area here over the next week or two is going to be the end of this symmetrical triangle formation right here at right around 10,000 Satoshis, maybe slightly below that. So once we reach the end of that formation, we'll be looking for a move higher because a move below that would push us, into a very bearish scenario. So we really want to make sure that we get a bounce and break above that downtrend line. As for the indicators, still downtrending here. We turn back negative on all indicators, the RSI, the MACD, the histogram, and probably not going to get a reversal until we test our uptrend line on the actual price. So we're going to be looking for those to flip back towards the upside, and that would be our bullish signal. Let's go ahead, take a look at Stellar Lumens now. Stellar has been a pretty interesting one to watch. Actually been moving a little bit different than the rest of the market, and we are dropping lower here below 3,000 Satoshis, kind of continuing to trickle alongside that downtrend line. We are below that though, which adds more pressure towards the downside. A lot of selling volume is here, very consistent, pretty large selling volume, and indicators, not doing that much, kind of flattening out, dropping a bit. So overall, we do have some last support in this area right here, but if in the next day we get another drop lower, we're going to be pushing, probably 2,500 Satoshis at this point. And that could happen pretty quickly because this is really our last bit of support. We do have a little bit of support near 2,700 Satoshis, but I think that we won't really stop downtrending until we reach 2,500 Satoshis at this point, unless we're able to get some kind of quick bounce right here. Let's go ahead, take a look at our next crypto, which is going to be Lisk, and see what's going on. So we're going to take a look at the Bittrex chart. Lisk did drop below its uptrend line here, short-term uptrend line. Indicators also taking a pretty severe hit, flipping back lower again. And if we don't get a bounce here within the next 24 hours, they'll turn negative. Now, last bit of support at around $4.66, which we're basically coming up on right now. We're actually dropping below our lower Bollinger Band, and that could create, one of those moves like we had over here where we end up getting, just a complete drop like this, where we end up dropping below the lower Bollinger Band, and then it's a complete loss of support where we just kind of crash lower. That's even more likely due to the fact that we don't actually have any clear support levels in this area. Next big support level would be the $4 mark, so have to be careful here for a Lisk, and hopefully to avoid this, we'll get a bounce within the next day or two. But really, we're reaching the limit here for Lisk. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be, let's see, Cardano, and we're going to take a look at what's going on. If we take a look at the Bittrex chart, we can see that Cardano is now testing again that uptrend line, really pushing the limit here once again. We need to get a bounce fast, because if we break below that, then we'll be in to a drop down to our next support level, which is all the way down to 1,254 Satoshis. So very big drop there. And you know, hopefully the only thing we can hope for is that we get some kind of pretty quick bounce here and avoid you know, fully dropping lower and starting even more of a downtrend. But the indicators are looking pretty bearish right now, just spiking lower basically. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is going to be IOTA. IOTA coming back on its uptrend line support. Once again, that is its critical support level. A move below that is going to push us down to 33 cents. Huge drop. We do have a little bit of support, you know, midway there at around 65 cents. But by all means, it's going to be a pretty nasty drop if we move below our uptrend line. So at this point, what we're looking for is a bounce here and then reaching the end of our symmetrical triangle formation and breaking out of our downtrend line. That's the bullish scenario. Bearish scenario would be any move that starts pushing us below the uptrend line, and that could lead to a pretty speedy drop lower. With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.